Well, turning now to our coronavirus fight, there's a new place to get your vaccine.
You can now roll up your sleeve at the old Lord & Taylor at the Columbia Mall. It is the 13th and the final mass vaccination site to open in our state. It's all part of the plan to get the shot into the arms of 80% of Marylanders.
WJZ is live. Ava Burnett takes us inside this new vaccination site. Ava Joy.
Good afternoon. Well, you heard it. What used to be rows and rows of shopping has now been transformed into a massive mass vaccination site here at the mall in Columbia. And this isn't the only site that opened up today. There was another one at Morgan State University.
Even before the sun came up, the mall in Columbia was on hundreds of to-do lists.
I think I was more nervous about not waking up for my appointment on time.
Not for shopping, but instead to get a COVID-19 vaccine.
My wife already got hers, and my son also got his first shot, so I'm the last one.
The Lord & Taylor, which closed because of the pandemic, now has a new life-saving mission to vaccinate Marylanders.
We are the prime location for the state to ensure that not only do our residents continue to have access to vaccine, but everyone who comes to the mall in Columbia.
This is the state's 13th and final mass vaccination location, but more sites will continue to come online. One opened up at Morgan State University. It's part of the state's Vaccine Equity Task Force, a plan to reach people in every community.
And that's why bringing it into the communities, helps, because then it becomes more convenient.
Nearly 2 million people are now fully vaccinated in Maryland.
Everybody needs to be getting vaccinated. It's a civic duty, I believe.
And the site of the mall in Columbia, which is open to anyone 16 and over, will help boost the state's vaccination rates.
If we are all collectively going to bring this pandemic to a close, we all who are able to get vaccinated need to get the vaccine.
And you must remember, you have to register before you show up at this site here at the mall in Columbia. The health officer said even though about 1,000 people signed up and got their shots earlier today, she's still really concerned about an additional 80,000 people in the county who haven't signed up. Live in Columbia, Ava Joy Burnett for WJZ.
All right, thank you, Ava Joy. Now, if you would rather go to your local doctor's office to get your shot, that just got a little easier. The State Health Department is expanding its primary care vaccination program. More than 70 new practices are now offering the shots, and that brings the total number of active participants to more than 220 statewide. Combined, these practices have served more than 4 million Marylanders.
The State Department of Health is once again sending out doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. This is the first time the federal government has made the shot available since its use was temporarily paused. Starting next Monday, more than 13,000 doses will be sent to hospitals, doctors' offices, pharmacies, and health departments. State health officials say they strongly support the use of the J&J vaccine.
Well, as the state races to get more people vaccinated, restrictions are also being eased. In Baltimore City, you can now take that mask off when you go out on a walk or take the dog out, falling in line with the governor's announcement statewide earlier this week. WJZ's live. Paul Gessler tells us where face coverings are still required, however, in the city. All right, take that mask off, Paul.
Yes, indeed, Denise. Now, there is still a statewide mask mandate for inside public places. Baltimore City and now Prince George's County, though, announcing this afternoon lifting outdoor mask mandates.
At Druid Hill Park Friday, when we broke the mask news to Sister Kololo, she broke into dance and didn't exactly hold back.
You get that?
Not everyone is as thrilled.
It's sending the wrong idea. It's a mixed message.
The city Friday morning lifted its outdoor mask mandate in line with the state guidelines laid out earlier this week.
This is new and updated guidance based on what we now know.
The city's health commissioner points to CDC guidance and what we've known for a while. The risk is lower outdoors.
And that risk is substantially lower if you've been vaccinated.
I think this is welcome news in a time such as this.
It's kind of like putting a muzzle on a dog, not that we dogs anything, but I think it's good for us to be able to interact a little bit closer. I hope nobody's getting sick.
People are continuing to transmit the virus, and Baltimore City Friday just passed 1,000 total COVID deaths.
The mask mandate remains in place at outdoor venues like sporting events and live performances, as well as any work where you interact with others.
Masks are still required on public transportation, ride-sharing services, and when you're obtaining health care services. The CDC guidance ties outdoor mask use to vaccination status, which gives some people pause.
A lot of people out here that hasn't received the vaccine, that said they're not going to get the vaccine, they're not going to have a mask on. So how can we protect ourselves?
Back live now, Baltimore City also announced today colleges and universities can move forward with graduations and commencements so long as they follow proper health and safety guidelines. We're live at 6 tonight. I'm Paul Gessler for WJZ.
Paul, thank you. Well, if you're getting unemployment, you can now sign up for direct deposit. This comes after the State Department of Labor reached a new deal with Wells Fargo. Till now, payments were given out on Bank of America debit cards. Those eligible can choose the direct deposit option by logging into the Beacon 2.0 portal or mobile app. Paper checks are available as well.
Well, it appears the travel boom isn't slowing down after a year of record lows. BWI says that yesterday was its second busiest day since the pandemic started. Nearly 21,000 people passed through security checkpoints. Several days over the past 2 months have seen numbers nearly that high. BWI remains the busiest airport in the Baltimore-Washington area. And if you are traveling anytime soon, make sure you keep your mask handy with you. The TSA just expanded its face covering requirement through the fall. This includes, of course, on airplanes, buses, and rail systems. It was originally set to expire next month, but it was pushed back now to September 13th.